Get into today's lecture, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my YouTube channel. June of this year, my channel will be 5 years old, and I'm gonna do a special lecture on acknowledging my channel 5 year anniversary. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is I'm going to talk about the benefits of forming a LLC for your company. My company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, is well over 23 plus years strong, and I had a LLC form for my company. My CPA did it, and there are so many benefits to formulate an LLC for your company. I strongly recommend you use someone who know how to do it, who's expert in doing it, versus doing it yourself, because you want it done the correct way. LLC offers several advantages, including limited liability protection, which shields personal assets from business debts and lawsuits. It also provides tax flexibility, allowing for pass-through taxation, where business profits are taxed at the owner's individual income rate, avoiding double taxation common in corporations. Additionally, LLCs are easy and inexpensive to form and manage, with fewer formalities and compliance requirements compared to corporations. Like I said, I paid my accountant, my CPA, to formulate a LLC for my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center. The money I spent to have that done was a business write-off. There are many other benefits when you form an LLC. LLC is separate from personal and business liabilities, meaning your personal assets are typically protected if the business incurs debts or faces lawsuits, which is very important. Creditors generally cannot pursue your personal assets to satisfy business debts. And that's a powerful benefit right there. LLCs can be types at either the sole proprietorship, partnership, S corporations, or C corporations, depending on the number of members and their preference. That's an individual preference, that the owner have to make a decision on what direction they want to go with that. It is common where business profits are taxed at the owner's individual income tax rate, again, avoiding double taxations that corporations face. This can lead to significant tax savings and simplifies tax filing. I've always hired a certified public accountant for the past 25 plus years to always file my personal taxes, my business taxes. I'll go ahead and pay the experts to do all that. Also, another benefit to formulating our LLC is, again, it's easy and inexpensive compared to corporations. LLCs are generally easier and less expensive to form. This formation process typically involves filing articles of organization with your state. There are also fewer compliance requirements and record-keeping obligations compared to corporations. So that's another benefit. Also, LLCs offer flexibility in how the business is managed. Members can manage the day-to-day operations themselves, or they can hire outside managers. My company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, I handle all of the duties and functions of my company. I always have. Although I'm fully retired, I've always had my company simultaneously all throughout the workforce. So members can manage the day-to-day operations themselves, or they can hire outside managers. And I'm about keeping my expenses down, so I'm going to do my own work in relation to my company. This allows for a more personalized and flexible management structure when you're managing and performing the duties and tasks under your company. Operating as an LLC can boost a business credibility and professionalism in the eyes of the client, the investors, and suppliers. It really can. It boosts that credibility. It can make it easier to secure business contracts and loans. But me personally, I stay away from loans. I'm just about being strategic and savvy and generating, multiple streams of income, multiple forms of revenue under my company and reinvesting my profits. So again, these are just many benefits of formulating an LLC. LLCs offer a degree of privacy as they are not required to publicly disclose the names of their members. Also another benefit, in the event of an owner's death or disability, LLCs can continue to operate, ensuring the business assets are protected for the heirs or successors, so that those assets are protected. Also when you formulate a LLC, it really is less paperwork. LLCs generally have fewer legal and administrative formalities compared to corporations, which is going to save you time and money. So again, these are just some benefits of formulating a LLC. I again went through my certified public accountant who does my personal taxes, my business taxes, and I also had paid him to establish my LLC for my company, Parents and Associates Resource Center. And I tell anyone, especially if you're even in retirement or getting close to retiring, rather you have a pension and Social Security, it don't matter. Do something, utilize your knowledge, skills, and talents to formulate a business and get that business, formalize an LLC for that business, so you can continue to generate money under your company without that having an impact on your retirement, on your Social Security, or any other pensions. And I'm here to tell you that's a powerful benefit. Even if you have disability income, if you formulate a business and get it on LLC, the money you make under that LLC, the company is making that money. You ain't making that money, so it will not have an impact on your Social Security disability income. Then that's just another powerful benefit of formulating a LLC for your business. And if you pay an expert to do it, whatever money you spend to pay that person to formulate your LLC, that money will be a 100% business write-off. Bottom line, it's going to be a win-win situation for you financially as your company begin to generate ongoing revenue at any point in your career. And this topic directly ties into the concept of my book, the concept of my channel, in terms of that money piece, rising above your financial situation, being wise with your money, being strategic with your money, and being smart with your money. And one of the ways to do that is, if you got a business, formulate an LLC for your business. Have it done the correct way. Go ahead and pay the expert to do it. I tell people, stop trying to do everything yourself, but you're not the expert in everything. Pay these experts to do your business taxes, your personal taxes, to formulate your LLC, or get a manuscript transformed into a published book. Pay the experts. And when you pay the experts to handle all of this important stuff, that can free you up with your creativity to cultivate and develop and to nurture your business or your skills or your talents. Real talk. So that's all I have. Simple Fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.